You are listening to the Curtis King Podcast. Hello and welcome, music producers, to another episode of the Curtis King Podcast. If you are listening via your choice of podcasting streamers, make sure that you subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating. Leave some kind words if you'd like to. If you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, just so you know when it's time for us to show up again. Now, I am showing up again today. That seems to be the theme of the day. I am showing up again. This is the secondary time that I'm showing up today for a podcast because the first one was an audio disaster, for lack of a better term. I jumped on there and it was just atrocious. It was atrocious live. It was atrocious after the fact. I thought if I were to record it, even as you can see right now, I'm actually editing the video just to make sure everything looks good and it's not blurred. But as I was recording the audio, I was recording it into Adobe Audition, which is what I use to record audio. And I was also recording it live. And I think somewhere between the split between the OBS system to Adobe Audition to all kind of craziness stuff that was going on, it put me in a place that was kind of like, it's doing too much. And I think that my computer something happened between today and the last restore point that I had March 29th that put me in a place that was like, yeah, this is not going to work out, champ. So thankfully, we are back. Thankfully, we have this thing working smoothly. I'm trying to get this podcast episode done before little man wakes up and it's time for full day with daddy and son. But that being said, what I want to do is kind of reiterate the things that I was talking about earlier and then also bring some new points to life, because I think that lessons like what just happened over the last, 2 hours teaches us lessons, and I learned a lot. One of which being that maybe I shouldn't talk to complete strangers in the first hour of my day, because there were some people jumping in there that was going in on the audio talking about, oh, it's the 5G, or oh, it's the, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, if y'all don't shut up, y'all don't let me the hell alone. And someone, oh man, it's an underground source under your underground, and I'm just like, fam, you may be right, but right now this is not what I want to hear. And so I've learned I just don't need to have people in the first hour of my day. I was trying to knock this out before little man woke up, but it just didn't work according to plan. We planned and God laughs, and I think that's what happened this morning. But that being said, I do appreciate the people that were trying to help, the people that were trying to offer some assistance in this situation. I just wasn't feeling it. But aside from that, the first thing that we talked about in that particular episode was the fact that this last week we had we had a beat battle between me and a producer named Willy Wonka from Minneapolis, Minnesota. We did it on IG Live, which all in all, I think people got the message from it, which was, make the most out of this situation. Make sure that you are at home, because I feel like we did our part to keep people home. It was dope to see all the folks showing up in there. I think it was like over 130 something people in the live. I've never had that many people in my live before. But that was pretty cool. Pretty cool to have everybody in there. And then also too, the battle itself was really, really entertaining. I got to give props to Wonka for showing up. You know what I'm saying? Bringing the theatrics, dancing and all of that stuff. And I got to give props to myself, pat on the back. I like that energy, Kurt. You came back in with that beat battle energy. And I think I learned a lot about what people are perceiving as beat battle energy in 2020, because the beats that I made might in some ways be sort of a time capsule in itself, that as I was seeing some of the reactions, I was like, That's interesting. I think all in all, people had really positive reactions to both of them, but I think that times change, ears change. People, they were vibing with the beats that I thought was least likely to be vibing with, like that least likely would be a beat battle beat. And those are the ones that were like, I just like the vibe of this one. It just gives me a feeling. And I'm just like, I'd never heard the word vibes when it came to beat battles. But times change, man. Times change. And you got to make sure that you adjust. You adjust or you get crushed. It's one of my favorite quotes. And so I think I came with it. I think Wonka did his thing. And all in all, man, I remember we shooting text messages after the fact, just like that was really, really fun. And so that being said, what is the future of me beat battling? I'm getting ready to jump back in the ring with with the most challenging competitor that I know of, aka my friend, my buddy, my brother that's releasing a drum kit tomorrow. Oh Gosh Leotis, man. He's dropping his drum kit, Volume 4, Oh Gosh Drum Kit. And then aside from that, he is also going to compete in the beat battle with me on Saturday. So we'll have more details here on the community tab or there on my Instagram, my IG, at Curtis King with 2 S's. Just follow up on that. Or what you could actually do, let me actually pull up my phone right now because I started up a text community. And shout out to all my folks there who have been sending me messages. And I'm looking right now at a bunch of messages that I got to hit back when I jump off of here. But for those of you that want to send me a text message, and this is not just some automated garbage, this is me actually hitting you back, text me at 909-323-1253. Once again, 909-323-1253. You send me a text there. I will get back to you. I hope that you're a fan of voice notes because I'm probably going to talk to you by name and use a voice note because it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier for me to be more efficient. Text messaging for me can be a bit of a headache in that I'm just word by word. And because I'm so wordy as an individual in general, texting just be, unless it's a short answer, I would much rather just speak it out. And I think people appreciate that. But get a text message from me when it's time for his drum kit to drop if you're interested in that, or get a text message from me when it's time for the beat battle to go live, which of course is going to not be on Instagram. It's going to be on YouTube. And we're going to be able to have better audio quality. He's going to hook up straight to his computer. I'm going to hook up to my computer. It's just going to be a better overall audio experience because that's some sort of my beef with IG is that as great as a platform as it is, as amazing as it is that we have the capabilities of doing what we do in 2020, having a beat battle like literally from Minneapolis to San Diego, California, online for people all around the world, that's an amazing thing to be grateful for. So let me not sound ungrateful when I say this, but IG, you got to get your length of IG live. You got to cut that 1 hour stuff. Like, I don't know if you I don't understand what the back end is going on because maybe there's something there that we don't know, but you all got to figure it out because 1 hour, if you're anywhere familiar with the culture of streaming, 1 hour ain't going to do nothing. 1 hour is going to irritate people. And the whole issue with if sometimes you give a countdown when it's time to get out, sometimes you don't. And it's just, oh my goodness. But aside from that, the audio also wasn't that cool. It was all right. I would like for it to be something to where it's just like, let's get all the distractions out the way and let's just enjoy it for the experience that it is. So that being said, I'm going to take it straight to YouTube because it's going to be a much better experience. And then also too, it's going to be much clearer. So next Saturday, probably same time, I'm going to talk to him. We're going to figure it out. But it's all a celebration. We're going to have some fun. It's all a celebration of his drum kit dropping. Which is ironic because I used his drums and pretty much every new beat battle beat that I made for that competition with Wonka was from his drum kit. So, even when I'm competing with my boys, I'm always showing love because I got to make sure that the bottom line stays present. So that's that. That has to do with the beat battle. I hope you guys enjoyed it as a replay here on my YouTube. Now, getting to some of the questions that I answered, there was a few different questions that I answered. One person asked about one in particular having to do with why do I not do beat critiques anymore? And if there was anything to learn from me being and competing in this beat battle with Wonka, it's that Curtis King, as much as you know me as a teacher, as a mentor, as somebody that gives you inspiration, I'm still a beat maker. I'm still a producer and I'm still a player in the game. And I still enjoy playing in the game. And when I was doing the beat critiques in the beginning, it was dope. It was dope. It gave me an opportunity where I was like, all right, cool. Let me catch some other vibes. Let me see what y'all are on. Let me kind of see where I can help and add some advice and give you da-da-da-da-da-da. And it was cool. We did like 40 plus episodes. Every one of them was like an average of 30 to 45 minutes. So we really spent some time. I spent a lot of time with a lot of producers' beats, not to mention the one-on-one consultations that I used to do. But somewhere between that and when I started up the Curtis King University, Curtis King TV community, shout out to them because we are now finally at a year. It's been a year since we launched that. That's crazy. Shout out to them. It's finally been a year, and I had a day dedicated to giving beat critiques for 4 or 5 hours. And I think something clicked in me after all that beat criticism that said, you know what? I think there's a reason why I started off every single episode saying where the purpose of the beat critique were to build you up and not burn your building down. It's because I didn't feel like either one was my responsibility to build you up in terms of you as a producer or to burn you down. I don't feel like that any of those are my responsibility or anybody else's responsibility except for yours. And why do I say that? Because not that I don't want to encourage you and not that I don't want to give you advice that's going to help you become a better producer or more productive. But I think that when it comes to music, because it is subjective, because it is something that is your child, your baby, right? This is your creation. This is your vision. This is your insight. This is your decision making. This is your palette of sounds that you said to yourself, yeah, that's it. That's it. I think that's better than anything else that I'm doing right now. Because you made those decisions, this is based upon your ears and what you see your trajectory to be. And for me to step in and to, give you my criticism, I'm a little bit biased because I have only my set of ears, or one set of ears. Hopefully I got extra ears out my butt. But I only have one set of ears. And from that one set of ears, I know what I like. You may like some of the same stuff I like, and you may really not like a lot of stuff I like. Vice versa. You may like a certain vibe that I just wouldn't understand, a certain rhythm that to me sounds off. I gave the example of this. Imagine if before we even knew what Chicago drill was, and all we knew was, say you came to me and you were making like the beginnings or the pioneering sounds of Chicago drill. You came to me as a producer on the West Coast and was like, what do you think of this? Like, what do you think I should add? Imagine if I'm sitting there and I'm like thinking with my West Coast mind, like, okay, it's kind of a trap beat, but it's kind of weird. The rhythms are a little bit different. Like, I don't know how anybody would rap over this. Without ever hearing Chief Keef or ever hearing some of the folks that have made that sound really, really popular, imagine me as a West Coast producer telling you how to make your drill sound better. You would look at me like a goofy, because I would be, because I have no idea of what the future of that sound is going to be. I don't know what that's supposed to be because it's not up to me. That's up to you, what you like and what region you're from. So this is why I started to feel a little bit different about giving critiques because one, I started to kind of get annoyed by saying the same stuff over and over again. Yes, I get annoyed hearing myself. Sometimes I got annoyed, and not because I wasn't trying to, but because I didn't know what else to tell people. At the end of the day, no matter what I say, what anybody says, you got more work to do. And I know you tired of hearing me say that because I've said it a million times. You got more work to do. You know that no matter what somebody tells you, if they tell you that, say they gave you great advice that changed the way that you did your 808s, that's amazing. But that does not stop the point A to point B work that has to be done. You still got to get to work. And I think that a lot of producers ask for so much feedback because they're afraid of walking in the dark. But walking in the dark is not always a scary event. I'll give you 2 examples. One, it is scary when you're walking down an alley and you hear sounds and it's a dark alley and all the lights are out and it's like, you don't know what's on the other end. And then maybe you hear a growl like a dog growl or something. It can get a little bit scary. That's some very uncomfortable circumstances. So walking in the dark in that example could be scary. But the flip side, how about another situation? Playing laser tag. Or playing hide and go seek with your younger brothers when you were younger. Are you young? Whatever. You're playing hide and go seek. Are you playing laser tag in the dark? That's not scary. That's fun. You get excited because you're like, I wonder if I'm going to catch something around this corner. I wonder what's around this corner. That's the way that I would want you to, that's the way that I would prefer you look at walking in the dark. Instead of feeling like, okay, I'm a producer that's walking in the dark and I don't know anything. What if I'm wasting my time? What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm wasting my money? What if, did all these what ifs? Are you walking in utter fear through the dark? And it should not be that way. You should instead look and say, I wonder what is going to happen. Not even wonder. I'm going to do it and then see what happens. Like that should be the entire mentality shift. I'm going to do it and then see what happens. And then after it's done, you come back and you say, that was pretty cool. Or, nah, that wasn't really for me. But at least you know. Instead of having somebody else live your career out vicariously for you. Right? I used to have one of these quotes that I said, I just want to be able to cut off 4 or 5 years of your career of walking in the dark. But I'm like, man, was that really the right thing? I'm always questioning my own mantras and my own words. Don't make me a hypocrite. Maybe it does make me a hypocrite in your book. I don't care. To me, it makes me a human being that's open to evolving. And if I'm open to evolving, I look at it and I say, you know what? Nah, why cut the years? That's assuming that those years are wasted. That's assuming that those years are not fun. That's assuming that those years are not for a reason. And I think that those years are for a reason, right? The older I get, the more I start to understand every single year that I've spent in here, none of them were a waste of time. Even sessions that I did not want to be in, it wasn't a waste of time. My time in the industry was not a waste of time, right? My time selling beats for sure wasn't a waste of time. But it all led me inevitably to here, and this is going to lead me to something else. So, I don't want to take away the beautiful experience of learning and walking through the dark because you're impatient or because you feel like I cannot tell you something about your sound. All I can tell you is what I've gone through in my journey and what led me to where I'm at and how I got here. But even then, I'm only going to give you advice that can make you as good as me. But I want you to be better than me. That's why I don't look at this game as having levels. I look at it as you went 40 miles that direction. This person went 2 miles this direction. It's all a journey. It's all a journey on even playing field, especially with the internet. It's always been like that, but especially with the internet, everybody's going on their own journey. This journey may have a lot more people over here, and you may look at that as fame or this person's, but that fame does not mean that that person's journey is more valuable than your journey. Your journey is your journey. This is your life. Take full advantage of that. So we're going to come back with some more thoughts and some more subjects, but I want to make sure that we show some love to our sponsors, show some love to my friends over at DistroKid. See you in a second. Music producers, something I talk about pretty frequently is the necessity of having multiple streams of revenue as an independent music producer. Not only for when you're actually producing, but what about those days after you stop producing? You got to make sure that you have streams of revenue that are going to live on even further than your current career. That being said, one stream of revenue that I think gets often overlooked is music distribution, aka streaming, getting your music on Apple Music, getting your music on Spotify, etc., etc. Now, the number one spot that I go to make sure that I distribute my music properly and ensure that I get my music to every store possible is DistroKid at distrokid.com. I know you've heard me speak about it multiple times on my YouTube channel, but I gotta tell you, there's a reason why it's the number one that I go to. For $19.99 per year, I can upload an unlimited amount of music throughout the year. As producers, you know we make an abnormal amount of music in comparison to songs that get created, so it's important that you use this as a consistent stream of income. If you'd like to sign up to DistroKid today and get your music to every major distributor, go to distrokid.com/VIP/Curtis King to get 7% off. Okay, so now that we're back from our commercial break, I was asked the question also too in that live stream that had somebody said it sounded like bacon was frying with my voice, but I was asked the question, how do you prepare for beat battles? And for me, I immerse myself. First of all, let me get this. Almost there. Oh. I'm not even close. Okay. Here we go. I had to go get my pills. So I have this brand or this company that I found by listening to the Joe Rogan podcast called On It. And they have these pills called the Alpha Brain Memory and Focus. And these pills, I'm not gonna make like they're magic pills. Look, whatever it is in there has for sure given me a level of focus that I did not know existed like that. And what I do is I basically keep a light breakfast in the morning. I'm not trying to have a heavy breakfast. Heavy breakfast, heavy food will slow you down. It will make it more challenging to go from decision to decision to decision because your brain just wants to shut your body down. So you stop eating and you chill the hell out. But these pills, plus some bulletproof coffee. I get the little iced coffee things, little bulletproof. They come in like this. You'll see them. They're like that big. For those who are listening, I'm sorry, but they're like the bulletproof mini iced coffees that you can pour over ice. I get that in the morning. I have those the On It, Memory and Focus. And I tell you, last week was, man, I was a man on a mission. When it comes to beat battles, I get into a place where I don't want to be, you never want to be the guy that loses a beat battle, right? First of all, you don't want to lose anything. But you want to make sure that you are at your best. And me at my best is when I'm not thinking. Me at my best is when I'm doing more and then leaving the thinking for a separate day. So I worked on beats Saturday, Tuesday, and mixed all of Thursday and Monday too. Monday. I was working downstairs on it and I just was going in. I had a bunch of ideas. I wasn't trying to be too slick about it. I was like, I know the man's name is Wonka, so I'm going to sample Willy Wonka. And that's just it. And then I started thinking about all the beats in my head that I thought were the hardest beats that were choirs, beats with crazy sidechain compression on the actual lead sound, drums where you don't know where the next drum is coming in. You can't really catch the beat. And then when you do, you're like, yo, this is the hardest thing I've ever heard. Sample flips, all that stuff. That's what makes me excited. So I go with that as leading the way instead of thinking about what is the audience. Like even now that I know people are more on the vibey feel, I don't know how that affects anything, but I at least insert that into my mind, let it download. And then when I get to work, I let whatever comes out. And then at the end of that, I can't sit up here and be mad about whatever the results of it are. It's not up to me. I'm sitting up here in my flow state and I'm letting what happens. And last week, those beats that I made, man, like as I listen to it with you guys in the re-live stream, the recap video, I'm sitting up here kind of blown away because it's the first time I'm listening to them as a listener. And I'm just like, man, like, I got to get back to that. I got to stay on that. I cannot get myself into a place where I think so much that I don't do anything at all. And so now I'm back. Now I'm going to get back to that for my beat battle with Oh Gosh Leotis, which, I mean, you know, he man, I can't even like put it into words how much of an inspiration he has been to me, how much he's like really helped me find the fun back in this, because seeing him just freely go through all these different sounds and drops inspires me to want to push the envelope. Because I love being able to show stuff back and forth with the homie. And he's like, oh, that's crazy, bro. Oh, look what I did right here. Like that's different, right? So to get in a battle, man, I just have to like not even think about competitor. I have to think about what is you at your best? And are you willing to push it another level? And while I'm thinking about, are you willing to push? I'm already pushing to the next level. That's how I've been operating. Even like, it's hard to explain unless you saw me in that flow state. But as I was sitting there, it wasn't no thought. I just went. And when I started finding myself thinking too much, because I'm still human, I stopped working and just walked away. But that's sort of how I prepare for that. This week, what I want you guys to be on the lookout for is, because we're doing the beat battle, like I said, in celebration of his drum kit dropping tomorrow, which fire. I use most of the sounds from the drum kit for the beat battle. The sounds are, if you know, oh gosh, you already know the sounds are going to be ridiculous, but those sounds are really, really nice. You can get more information about those. If you're already in the email list, you'll be getting this stuff today, so don't even trip on it. But tomorrow or Tuesday is going to be the actual release date, which today, what is today? It is the 6th of April. 7th of April was when he's actually dropping, and then Saturday, which is what is that? The 11th is when we're having a beat battle. So be on the lookout for that. But outside of that, just want to let you know that I appreciate everybody that listens to this podcast. I appreciate all of you that show love and that you share your thoughts about things that I have shared in here. But feel free to leave a question at the bottom if you want me to cover something in the future. I'm trying to think if there's another topic that I wanted to go ahead and cover before I left here. Stay in the house, man. That's one last thing I want to say. Stay in the house, man. It's crazy to me. I saw a meme and I posted it up. When we were allowed to go outside, nobody wanted to go outside. Everybody wanted to be on their phones. Everybody wanted to be at home watching Netflix. Now that the government says, hey, stay inside, fam. Now everybody want to go outside and be on their bikes. I look at my neighbors and I'm like, y'all make me sick. I'm looking out the window like that SpongeBob meme. I'm looking out the window and I'm like, y'all want to ride your bikes. Got cobwebs on the pedals. Now you want to ride your bikes. Now all of a sudden you want to be out and about at the park playing basketball, right? It's just, and the longer people are out, the longer this whole thing is going to last, because using the logic of the government, they're saying, look, stay home so that we don't pass this thing that can be, I've heard it can be airborne, or this thing that can pass from inanimate objects. I don't know, like basketball rims, like doors, like, I don't know, man, stay your asses in the house, please, so we can get the hell up out of here and get back to normal life, or semi-normal life, because I think a lot of things are going to shift. I was watching a podcast that talked about businesses that are going to go under shifts, and maybe that's what we'll end it here. How is this going to inevitably affect music producers? I haven't given much thought to that, only because I feel like we provide a service that no matter what time period we're in, people come to us for an escape. If you think about it right now, the people that are winning right now, not even winning, I shouldn't say, that's terrible. The people who are still in a place of productivity, keeping their mind busy, and still helping people are the creatives. The movie directors, the people who write scripts, the actors for movies that are on Netflix, the people who create music that people are listening to right now. Because you got to think about this. If you weren't a producer, what would your life be right now? If you weren't making beats, if you didn't know how to make beats, what would your life be like right now? And you weren't an essential worker, what would you be doing right now? Gaming, right? Watching your favorite TV show. Ain't no sports on right now. So even if you're a sports fanatic like I am about basketball, ain't no sports on right now except for like replay games. Or watching NBA players play each other on 2K, which I just, for the life of me, I can't do it. I love the NBA, but I don't know if I love it that much. What would you be doing? You probably would be listening to music to pass the time. You probably would be reading books, those are also creatives. You probably would be, just consuming things that bring you comfort, that help you kind of mentally get away for a second. And the people who are winning right now are the ones that people talk the worst about when things are normal. Like, oh, get a real job. You get a real job. You can't be a full-time producer, musician. That's what you are, a rapper. Now they're looking back and they're like, man, I wish I had, like while we're complaining about the stream numbers, they're like, I wish I had a $50 check coming in right now, because it ain't nothing right now. I'm still waiting on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are like, they're really in a situation where they're hurting. And now the thing that used to be sort of the default 40-hour work week, working at a 9 to 5. And I'm not ragging on anybody. First of all, much love and support to all those folks that I know follow my channels and platform that are essential workers. God bless you, because we need you. We need you more than ever, and we appreciate you. God bless all the nurses, the paramedics, the police officers, everybody out here that is doing their job to make this as smoothly as possible of a transition for people, because I know there's a lot of folks in dire situations right now. But it used to be that the job was the more secure way to go. If you get a job, go to school, get a nice job, you set for life, supposedly. When we don't equate school debt and all that stuff into it. But yeah, you good for life. If you go into business for yourself, That's why there's not so much support for it, because people are like, that's risky. I don't know, that's risky. It seems now that it's more risky not to have an additional stream of income. It seems now more than ever, it is more risky for you to not launch on your ideas. Because right now, I said it before and I'll say it again, people have been given all of the tools that they've ever seen these highly successful people say they needed, right? They've been given they've been given the perfect environment to do what they say they want to do. You say you want to launch your beat store. You say you want to become successful. You say you want to create a beat store and you want to learn the ins and outs of Facebook marketing and ads. You haven't done it though. Why haven't you done it? Because, oh man, my job takes too much time away from me. I don't have enough time. Now you have an abundance of time. The word boring should never even cross your mouth. No boring. You have time now. Take a Udemy course. Go to udemy.com, find places that have course. Take a $10 course on Facebook ads. Learn the ins and outs of it, right? See how it relates to what you're trying to do. Or start putting money towards it, right? Like put a small fraction of it, because people have not stopped running ads. It ain't like, it's funny when producers are like, man, should I still be promoting my beat store because rappers are not going to be buying beats? They're not worried about that. You sure about that? There's a lot of people still putting up ads right now on Instagram. My feed has not become less. If anything, it's become more ads popping up. There's still commercials on TV popping up. Why? Because people are still spending money. Everybody doesn't have the same spending habits. Even though it seems like a lot of people don't have the money, people just choose what they want to spend their money on, right? And some people are, of course, in situations that we would never understand, in dire situations. But this whole thing right now, as it is today, is more of an inconvenience than it is a real problem. The person that has to go and dig through trash, even before the coronavirus was even around, that's a real problem. Because now they've increased their problem by, being associated with germs and anything else that can come along and harm them in a way where they can't even get in the hospital now. Problems and inconveniences. You got to be able to see through this time. This is a dark time, but you got to be able to see through this time and be able to see, and it's crazy too, because now I'm getting on a real rant and I don't care. I'm starting to see even people push back against people who are telling them to stay productive during this time. I'm seeing people who are like, you ain't got to do nothing during this time. You just need to focus. What? Okay, don't do nothing. You're right. Just rest. You're right. Rest the entire time. Because when you come out of the next 30 days or 60 days or 90 days feeling that way, and I saw this on my Twitter, somebody retweeted it and I was like, this cannot be a narrative you guys are pushing right now. If you come out of the next 90 days or 60 days, whatever this thing lasts, the same exact person and go right back to work, and you've done nothing to push the needle on what you said that you want to actually create in addition to your job, that is your actual dream, that is your actual purpose, your actual passion, you don't want it. Because it wasn't about having a lack of time. It wasn't because you have all these responsibilities. It was because you literally lacked being disciplined. And there's no other way to put it. You have been given an opportunity to stay at home. You're not allowed to go outside. I saw a meme that said you go outside, you get your 1 star from Grand Theft Auto. 2, you can't be around your friends. And yeah, your friends are amazing, but sometimes your friends can be a huge distraction. Now you can't even use them as a reason why you're not doing it. Right? You have been given a golden opportunity to make the most out of it. And if you choose to just rest the entire time, maybe that's what you needed. But don't be mad if you come out the other end of this and you don't have what you said that you wanted. Don't go back to work and don't go back to school saying, oh, it's school's fault why I can't become the producer I want to. No, that's not their fault. Because what you do at this time says a lot more about you than it does about the outside world. I'm going to leave it on that note and say thank you for listening and watching today. For those of you that have been watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll tell you one more time, hit the like button too. Hit me with that. Those of you that are listening to the multiple distributors that this podcast is on, thank you. First of all, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments and all that good stuff. Let us know how you think about it, what you think about it. I'm grateful for every producer out here. Please stay healthy, stay productive. And in this life, you will not be full of life until you decide to live life to its fullest. Once again, it's Curtis King of SlapExperts.com. Have a good one.